Brocklesbury getting to grips with mine hunting.
Carry on.
Mine countermeasure vessels have the essential task of keeping ports and coastal fishing lanes free from the threat of mines. I'm here in the Mediterranean on HMS Brocklesbury to find out exactly how they do it and just how dangerous it really is. What's the role then of MCMVs in today's Navy?
Well, as you know, Britain is an island nation and 95% of our trade, both in and out, still comes by sea. Because of that, it's vitally important that we can maintain the sea lines of communication open. There are some 30 or 40 countries out there that maintain mine stocks today, and who knows how many terrorist organisations that could get hold of sea mines or used improvised explosive devices to cause a problem to shipping coming in and out. Only 3 weeks ago, HMS Herworth, doing a route survey task in Way Bay, in the approaches to Weymouth, found an old German ground mine. The battery wasn't working, but it's still shiny and silver with a very large explosive head on there. So if somebody were to drop an anchor on that, they'd be in for a very bad day. We need mine hunters to ensure that should the worst happen, we can still maintain trade and freedom of the sea.
So, talking about working on a minesweeper, I mean, that must have quite a different feel to it to working on a larger ship.
The professionalism, the effectiveness and the operational capability that we can deliver are exactly the same. We don't just look for mines. Well, I've been in command for 18 months and the majority of the crew has been with me for that time. They're a very good bunch, they're very, very professional, and I'm a very lucky commanding officer to have such a good team behind me.
Well, I wanted to be on a small ship. I like the small ship atmosphere.
Being in the galley is the heart of the ship, really. So everyone comes in, has a chat, cup of tea.
It's much more of a family atmosphere.
Everyone's responsible for everyone else's safety, and it does show the trust that the lads have in each other.
Everybody on board, all the senior aides and the officers, all have multiple roles. I'm the educational resettlement officer, I'm the captain's legal advisor.
On here I'm in charge of all the catering accounts. We get £2.48 a day per person.
I just dive in involved as firefighting and QMing, driving the ship on the wheel.
Sport, church services, IT security.
Is there anything you don't do here?
It's not such thing as an average week.
It is one of the best jobs in the world. You get to see so much and do so many different things.
We're working pretty hard at the moment as a force of mine countermeasures because we're maintaining 4 hulls out in the Arabian Gulf operating out of Bahrain at all times. We have to rotate our crews around the different hulls because there simply isn't time to drive the ships backwards and forwards from the Gulf. The ship stays in the situ and the crews actually rotate round. I'm not actually the captain of HMS Brocklesbury. I'm the commanding officer of Crew 3. This is the 3rd hull in which we've lived. We've been in HMS Catterstock and HMS Chiddingfold out in the Gulf, and now we're in HMS Brocklesbury on our NATO operations. It's the best job I've had in my 20 years in the Royal Navy.
We're not the only people here in the Mediterranean. Right now, there are 3,500 NATO personnel from 11 nations, all here to take part in Exercise Noble Mariner.
The exercise that we're on at the moment is a validation process for the next NATO Rapid Reaction Force. This is a complex scenario involving lots of ships, aircraft and submarines operating in all the environments, and it's going to be good fun and testing for the team.
Main principal role would be officer of the watch, but my secondary role after that is a gunnery officer. That's my title. I'm in charge of gunnery serials on board, in charge of making sure we have enough ammunition on board. The department's quite small, but everybody on board is qualified to shoot at least an SA-80, and the majority of the mine warfare and divers are all qualified with a GPMG for the minigun.
30mm trigger release covering the contact.
30mm guns, warning shots. Take contact at green 45, range of 800 yards.
Spider, just talk me through the different types of guns here.
The weapon you'll see now is a belt-fed gas-powered machine gun. Very accurate, and it fires a 7.62 round. The red tip on the end is a phosphorus tip, which is a tracer. Fire in a couple of seconds, roughly about 20 to 30 rounds.
P1, take the contact! P1, take! Stop it! Right, the IA! Right, may fire! Reason for stopping! Ready ammunition! Roger!
The weapon just behind you is a minigun. That's a 6-barrel Gatling gun, capable of firing 1,000 rounds a minute. So it works out, each barrel fires 7 rounds every second.
So training exercises like this must be pretty important to actually get the opportunity to have a go.
It is, yeah, especially when we get new lads trained up on that. Get some bit of experience to get through on the weapons.
Flip the rail over, up top cover. Sweep the terrain. P1, take. P2, take.
Exercises like this are really important because they prepare us for our actual operational tasking. This crew was in HMS Chiddingfold in the Arabian Gulf for the first 6 months of the last year. As you know, most of the oil that we use in our cars and in our homes still comes from the Arabian Gulf.
Yeah. Therefore,
it's of strategic importance to the country that we maintain our presence there.
But talking about the ship in particular, what makes it capable of mine hunting?
Well, what we have in this room, we have our 2193 sonar. We also have our mine disposal system, which is nicknamed Seafox. We also have various other bits of kit, such as our vibration monitoring equipment, which is integral to the ship's noise signature. Being a smaller ship, we require smaller machinery, so that reduces noise levels and magnetic signature levels.
I mean, talking about non-magnetic, the ship isn't made in the traditional way, is it?
No, it's not. It's not. It's reinforced fiberglass. It's made in one whole complete mould.
Can you tell me what the main stages of mine hunting are?
The first stage that we will come across is a contact on our sonar.
Contact Mar, range 292 metres, bearing 225.
Roger. Once we've classified it as a possible contact, we need to identify it with Seafox. Seafox to short notice, Seafox to short notice. 40 metres to run. Thrusting up, contact identified as confirmed mine.
Unidentified throughout the ship. On order, 3 depths.
Vehicle at 5 metres depth. Once we've identified it with Seafox, we need to make a decision whether or not we're going to use a combat round or diver-based charge. Either way, we'll either send another Seafox away or the divers away.
Divers to immediate notice.
Stand by, diving, conning, run.
Basically, we'll go out as a team on a boat, have a line hanging down from the boat with an ICOS on, which is like a metal ball, and that'll be picked up on the sonar, and the ship will direct us towards the mine using bats and wands on the forecastle of the ship, and they'll tell us when to slip that line down to the seabed, and that will put it directly almost on top of the mine itself.
One of my divers will dive down on the contact.
Put a diver in the water and test for leaks.
Once he's ID'd it as a contact, which Seafox has done, we'll place a 4-pound pack of explosives on the mine and we'll blow up the mine.
How easy is it to identify the type of mine?
All my lads are very highly trained in identifying mines. Even in the dark, they'll be able to identify and come up and tell me what type of mine it is, and then we know exactly what we're dealing with. One of the biggest problems we do have is when we get any sort of conditions, the tidal conditions, on the surface for the wind on a dive boat operating, and also when the diver's down at depth, it makes his working very hard.
Well, I'm safely back on board and the rest of the divers are just coming up now. So a successful exercise completed. Of course, had this been for real, they would have attached explosives to the mine and demolished it. So job well done all round. I'm going to get the kettle on, wait for these boys.